What's going on, YouTube? Now, I missed last week, but I'm back this week with some updates. I told you guys last week that I would update you on product, allocations, and pricing. So let's get right into it. Now, most of us know, or some of us know, that they had dropped to a single shift at the Bowling Green facility a few weeks ago. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. But since then, in early November, they've added the second shift back. So we're back in production, baby. We're back on the grind, so hopefully they can just keep things moving from a production standpoint and keep cranking those cars out. Now here's some more common sense good news. The demand for the previous Z06 wasn't even close to what it is today. Common sense tells us that they can't work off of previous allocation numbers. What I'm saying is GM has to build and deliver these Z06s and Stingrays. How do you tell a dealer, oh sorry, you've met your 5 Z06 allocation quota, see you next year? They can't do that. With the current situation, they just can't do it. There's a lot of orders in the system and they have to fulfill those orders. So this is a unique situation, guys. It's not like it was in the past where if you didn't sell enough cars and maybe you got 5 allocations and you got 6 orders and you met your allocation and there's nothing we can do for you. They can't operate that way anymore. They have to fulfill these orders. So what's going to happen is GM is going to keep producing and delivering these cars. Rest assured, they're going to keep producing and delivering these cars. So I think we're in good shape here. Okay, guys, allocations. Now, I mentioned before, you cannot sustain that old process of allocations. You're never going to be able to keep up with the demand if you continue to go the route that you were going in the past. So they have to make some changes. So due to the back orders and the demand, I'm hearing that GM has increased allocations across many dealerships. This is good news for folks that have been waiting. So what it means is basically, like I said before, GM has to continue producing these vehicles in order to fulfill these orders. They have to, they just really don't have a choice. So instead of trying to maintain previous allocations, what they're doing is saying, you know what? We're just going to throw that out the window. We're going to continue to give these folks cars so that they can continue to fulfill their orders. So I don't know what the numbers are, for particular dealers in terms of allocation, but I do know that GM is looking to be more flexible in terms of fulfilling these orders. All right, let's get to pricing. Now, some of you guys may have seen what I saw, a couple videos on YouTube about a leaked Z06 build order. I'm laughing to myself because I'm just not buying it. I'm not saying it's not true. I just don't really understand it. And the reason why is, how can you leak a price on a non-built consumer product? I'm going to repeat that. How do you leak a price on a non-built consumer product? There is no ordering system for anybody to even order the car. So I think maybe somebody was just kind of, looking at a previous build and guesstimating what things might cost, but I just don't know how that's possible. But I don't even think that Chevy or GM has confirmed their costs yet. So with that being said, I just don't know how you can have a leak cost. But anyway, let's kind of get into it. GM has not released final pricing yet. I haven't seen anything that has confirmed that GM has released final pricing on the C8 Z06. Now, I told you guys in a previous video what my price thoughts were. I'm somewhere between 85 and 95. So we'll just see what happens when they finally do introduce the price. So look at it this way. I think that the vehicle is going to kick off somewhere between 85 and 95 in the first year. I think the second year, they may uptick it just a little bit. Not 100% sure, but I'm just thinking there may be some upticks. Could be due to parts and things of that nature. But by the 3rd and 4th year, I'm thinking that this thing is probably going to have a new price point. And the reason why I say that is because of the interest that the car has generated. So imagine being in real estate and you're building a 200-unit condo or townhome community, and you're building it in phases, phase 1 through 5. Now, phase 1, the pricing is always lower, because the interest isn't there. You're kind of building it on speculation and your prices are lower. It's an introductory price. But once you determine that that interest is built and a lot of people want to get into this community, by phase 5, the price is much higher. It's just business. It's just how it works. I don't make it up. You don't make it up. It's just business. And Chevy is in the business to make money, or I should say GM is in the business to make money. So it wouldn't surprise me if GM is in meetings discussing this very topic as we speak. I think that they're probably sitting at the table trying to determine what they're going to do. They didn't plan for this type of interest. They knew they built a pretty solid looking vehicle. They knew they had set some records in terms of that engine, but I really don't think that GM could imagine that that car was going to generate this much interest. Okay, so that's just my thought. I think that they're probably discussing what they're going to do with the price. And here's why I think of this. All of us in the Corvette community understand that they don't build as many of the track-ready Z06s as they do Stingrays. We all know this. So why is that? It's because of cost and sales. The average consumer is not running out the door to buy a $92,000 car. They're just not. So when they had the price point of the original C8, I believe it was under 60,000. It was like 59 and change. Now, if you look at the C8, it's like 63,000 is where they're starting at. And the reason why they upticked the cost was because of some additions that they put on the vehicle. I believe I read somewhere that it was some parts, the cost of parts to add a couple of different feature sets. But over time, the price is going to gradually tick up, which isn't a terrible thing because it's still an awesome car under $100,000. So I really don't think you can go wrong. So to wrap things up, guys, I think we're good on production. I'm feeling pretty confident there, barring any COVID-related issues. We do know that there's a new variant, so I'm hoping that doesn't present any issues, but I'm feeling pretty good about production. Allocations, I'm happy to hear that GM is acknowledging the fact that they have an issue, and they're gonna roll these cars out to these dealerships and kind of go away from the traditional allocations for these Corvettes. And the pricing, not much I can say on pricing. I think we're all still sitting around waiting to see what this thing is gonna roll off at the line. But I think that it's not gonna be too crazy in the first year. So all in all, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm not on a list. I think I mentioned that in the previous video. I'm not on a list for a Z06, but I do have my reservation for a 2023 Stingray. I'm hoping one day to get myself into a Z06, but I think for me, it's probably gonna be a little ways out. But as usual, hang in there, guys, and I'll catch up with you all next week.